All right, let's move on to approve registration fees.
Resolved that the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the registration fees for the 2015-2016 school year as presented in the March 24, 2015 Board Agenda Packet.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Tim Walsh. Any discussion?
Well, let's say publicly what we're changing so people know what we're voting on.
Two fees. The technology fee only for incoming freshmen will be $100. This covers for incoming freshmen the original $30. It insures their Chromebook for 4 years, and it also covers some of the expense related to the Chromebook. The district's paying for about 50%, 55% of the Chromebook, and over the next 4 years, as this fee is implemented, the parents will, or the student will pay for the other half. And the other fee that's going up from 20 to 25 is the activity fee. It's been $20 for over 10 years, and that's the fee that students, it's an optional fee that students can pay at residency. It's a one-time $25 fee that they pay, and that gets them into home athletic events, dances, and some of those things that are charged admissions to.
All right. Mary Ann?
So, question, are we done approving all the fees for the year by approving this?
The rest are staying the same.
Because concern I have is if you look at the athletic budget for 2 years to now, it's gone up almost $100,000 net after you take in the fact that pay to participate. And, I'm just raising that as a concern that while we're looking at other areas, I don't know if we've really drilled down to the fact that there's those increases happening there. And again, I raised the concept of maybe we need to look at increasing the pay to participate for the athletics,
Which is not in this motion.
which is not in this motion.
Right.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Well, could we pull that out? I mean,
It's not
so we
It's not
could,
in part of the
It's not
fees.
in the motion.
Not in the motion.
well, but I mean, could we approve this today, and if we had to revisit the pay-to-play, do that at a later time? Because this is important to produce the registration materials, correct? This needs to go to the printer, am I?
Correct.
Correct.
We'd like to get a
It's not for the registration, it's for the handbook for the students for next year.
Right, so they're trying to make a printing deadline.
Right.
So would this, if we revisited the pay-to-play, I'm just saying if,
Board would need to, majority of the board would need to make that a motion or a future agenda item. I mean, 2 years ago, we went to 200 a sport. Last year, the board went down and changed it, so it's
no,
200.
I'm not talking about
Now
the
we're going
money,
back
but
up.
I'm talking about what you print. So if you print these fees and they revisit the fees for play-to-pay, you wouldn't have to throw out all the books or anything.
No, we would just
No.
have to put an addendum in or an extra letter.
We'd have
when
to
they
put
got their
subject to
handbook.
change and have
Right.
people see that we put
Well, I
one
believe
thing
the
and
students
change.
already received proposed fees for next year already.
Right.
Yeah.
In their mail, so, and I think they're already aware of the fact that they're subject to change based on the fact that they've already received their fee structure.
Here's the concern I have with it, and again, I talked to Kevin about this a couple
Concern with
times.
what?
Just his concept.
Which
The
concept?
concept is athletic costs went up and the pay to play didn't. Everything's gone up in the last 2 years, right? And we've looked at a lot of other programs, we've had a lot of people come and talk about the music program and whether we should be cutting based on the participation that's in there. And we have to be diligent and keep looking at costs and cutting costs and keeping costs down and doing, increasing our income. But we take a close look at that when we do the budget. And we've beat this one to death 2 years in a row. And we're hear from our athletic director that we've gone from no part cost to we're kind of at the higher end now. So I'd like to suggest we let it ride for another year. And we look at, like we should with everything, all costs and all income when we look at the budget again this year. I don't think there's a reason to isolate
So if we look,
tonight.
when we approve the budget, aren't we locked into the fees? Yes, we are. That's why I'm raising the issue now, so that when we go into next year's budget, we have some fodder. The problem is we're locked into fees that we're doing today for next year's budget. And when you look at the fact is that, you know, athletics in 2012 and 13 was 430, net cost of 440, I'll say 437, and now we're at 526. That's a big jump. It's like averaging 10% a year.
Because we have more students playing.
We have more stipends. I
It's
mean,
not
there's a
that
lot
we
of
didn't
reasons.
jump that number of students
No,
up.
and we've put back more stipends with our last contract.
I would suggest we call the question on this, and somebody put this on another agenda, next meeting if you want.
Well, but do we have to call the question on this? If we approve this, is it possible, physically possible, that at registration, there could be a different pay-to-play price?
But this doesn't relate to pay to play
Yeah.
at all.
If
Well,
we-
then, why
Yeah, it
is this
does.
not, why would we call this question if it has nothing to do with
No,
pay-to-play?
it does, Ed, because we are approving all of the participation. They gave us a list of the whole thing and said,
I'm not in
we're
favor-
changing
I'm not in
to.
favor of changing pay to play at all at this point in time for next year.
All right,
But.
so why don't we just
you
go
know,
with the regular
you
motion?
know, Laura, do you really think you're gonna be voting for a change?
No, I'm not, and what I see is that by not approving this, we're kind of interfering with their day-to-day business. We're causing them more harm than we're doing good. They're just trying to get a book published so that it's ready for residency.
Well, why don't we just take a straw poll? Who really wants to talk about changing pay to play for next year?
I want to go with what the administration recommended. They want us to try to ride it, keep it the same it is for another year.
And I'm in favor of that as well.
Anybody got any objections to that? All right, seeing none, Mary Ann?
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Mr. Jepson?
Yes.
Dr. King?
We're just voting on this, the motion that,
It was just, yeah, this,
The motion is all the fees will stay the same except the two that were mentioned.
yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
No.
Mr. Cindy?
yes.